The Galactic Council's salvage team had seen many derelict vessels in their careers, but nothing quite prepared them for what they discovered drifting near the Outer Rim territories. The warship was massive, scarred with battle damage, and broadcasting a faint distress beacon in a language their translators struggled to decipher. Commander Zix Thrall, a veteran Krellian officer with 4 decades of experience, approached the vessel with caution. His scales rippled with unease as the scanners revealed something impossible. Life signs. Faint, erratic, but undeniably present. Impossible, hissed his second-in-command, Tavara. That ship has been adrift for 3 standard cycles. No species survives that long without proper life support. The readings indicate it's one of them, Zixthril said, his voice dropping to a whisper. A human. The boarding team fell silent. Humans were legends whispered across the galaxy, a species that had emerged from a death world and somehow survived first contact with the Vrax hegemony. A species that didn't know when to surrender. They breached the airlock with weapons drawn. The interior was a nightmare of flickering emergency lights, exposed wiring, and what appeared to be makeshift repairs using components that should never have been compatible. Empty containers labeled coffee extra strength littered every surface, along with data tablets covered in frantic scribbling. In the command center, they found her. She was small by human standards, slumped in the pilot's chair, dark circles carved beneath her eyes like bruises. Her uniform bore a patch that read, Intern Logistics Division. Her fingers were still wrapped around an empty mug. Is it dead? Tavara whispered. The human's eyes snapped open. They were bloodshot, wild, and utterly terrifying in their alertness despite obvious exhaustion. She blinked slowly at the armed aliens surrounding her. Oh, thank God, she mumbled, her voice raspy. Do any of you have coffee? Actual coffee? Not that synthetic crap from the dispensers? The boarding team raised their weapons. Zixthril stepped forward, his translator crackling to life. Identify yourself, human. This vessel is now property of the Galactic Council under salvage protocols. She laughed, a sound that chilled their blood. Salvage? This is the Indomitable. She's not salvage. She's mine. The human stood, swaying slightly, and gestured at the tactical display behind her. Well, technically, she belongs to the Terran Defense Fleet, but they gave her to me after... The incident. What incident? Zixthril demanded. The human rubbed her eyes and tapped the console. The main screen flickered to life, displaying a combat log that made the entire boarding team take an involuntary step backward. Confirmed kills. 300, pilot, intern, J. Chen mission. Duration 72 standard hours, coffee consumed 47 units. There was a clerical error, Chen explained, her words tumbling out in a caffeine-fueled rush. I was supposed to be filing requisition forms for the quartermaster. Filing forms. But someone in HR mixed up my assignment code with a combat pilot's. By the time anyone noticed, I was already in the middle of a Vrax ambush with a warship I'd only read about in orientation manuals. Tavara's mandibles clicked nervously. You fought the Vrax? Without training? I had some training, Chen protested. I played a lot of flight simulators in college, and I'd been awake for 36 hours working on coffee machine maintenance reports, so I was already in the zone, you know? Everything was very clear, very simple. They shoot at me, I shoot back. They try to board, I vent the corridors. Basic problem solving. Zixthril examined the tactical data more closely. The human hadn't just survived. She'd systematically dismantled an entire Vrax strike fleet using tactics that violated every known principle of space combat. She'd used the warship's damaged FTL drive to create localized gravity wells, turned life support systems into makeshift EMP weapons, and apparently weaponized the ship's coffee maker at one point. This says you destroyed a Vrax dreadnought using escape pods? He asked incredulously. Loaded them with reactor coolant and timed the detonations, Chen said with a shrug. I saw it in a movie once. Figured it was worth a shot. The Vrax shields weren't calibrated for debris that small moving that fast. And you did all this without sleep? Oh, I slept, Chen corrected. For like 45 minutes when the autopilot was handling the boring parts. But mostly I just drank coffee and listened to my combat playlist. Very therapeutic. Zixthril looked at his team, then back at the human. This creature, this intern, had accomplished what entire battle groups couldn't. And she spoke about it the way one might describe a particularly tedious day at the office. Your superiors must have been pleased, he said carefully. Chen's expression darkened. They court-martialed me. Apparently, unauthorized use of military assets is frowned upon, even if you save an entire colony world. I got it overturned eventually, but they stuck me with this ship as punishment until they figure out what to do with me. She paused, squinting at them. Wait, you guys aren't here to arrest me again, are you? No, Sixthril said quickly. We thought this was a derelict. Does it look derelict? Chen gestured around the ruined command center. This is just how I operate. Maximum efficiency, minimum aesthetics. The Krellian commander made a decision that would later be cited in council records as either brilliant or insane. Intern Chen, on behalf of the Galactic Council, I would like to offer you a position with our defense coordination. Chen's eyes lit up for the first time. Do you have coffee? We will get you all the coffee in the galaxy. Then you've got yourself a deal. She extended her hand in the human gesture of agreement. But I'm keeping the ship, and I want my own coffee maker, the industrial kind. As the salvage team retreated to their vessel to process what had just occurred, Tavara turned to her commander. Sir, are we really recruiting a sleep-deprived intern who treats warships like office equipment? Zixthral watched through the viewport as Chen returned to her pilot's chair. Already reviewing tactical displays with manic energy, Tavara, he said quietly. Humanity sent an intern into battle and she won. Imagine what their actual warriors can do. The thought kept them all awake that night, and somewhere in the depths of space, intern J. Chen cracked open her 48th cup of coffee and smiled.